Good morning, welcome to On the Level Racing channel. And today's selections will come from Aintree, and also it's the only meeting we will be covering over the next 3 days. Obviously, we had a great Cheltenham last month, and you will see some horses that have run from that festival over to here to Aintree over the next 3 days, declarations. We're going to go straight into it, obviously, because this podcast is very late this morning. We've probably missed some of the good prices that have been floating around on some of the selections that I'm putting up. Please bear with me with the other computer. We are running a little bit slow on this at the moment. However, we're going to go straight into the Manifesto Chase, obviously a grade 1. And really, we have the money horse here is being Fusel Raffles and Nicky Henderson's. Now, the yard haven't been firing that much over the last few months and didn't really have a great Presbury Festival, to be honest. Here they have Fusel Raffles, as I said, run a cracking race when finishing second to Chantry House in the Marsh Novices, staying on very well all the way to the line. Obviously, we lost Envoy Allen through the race, so we don't know really what kind of position he would actually stayed at. As his form here at Aintree, this will be his first visit to Aintree. He's quite a prolific Cheltenham horse and has been over the years. And this horse even run a champion hurdle back in 2019. As for me, this horse win the race. I just, Daryl Jacobs' record at Aintree isn't great. He's got about 11% return on the monies, about 15 winners. I think most of his horses have been placed. Obviously, we have to look at Paul Nicholls. Always look at Paul Nicholls' horses, especially if his horses are missing Cheltenham coming here. Here, I put this horse up last time when it ran Hitman. When falling at Sandown in the Scilly Isles Novices Chase, which won by Sporting John that day. Would he have won? I think if the horse stood up on the ground, I think he would have won that day. But as they say, jumping is the name of the game. And he didn't jump that well that particular hurdle. He came out in Newbury over 2.5 miles on good, quicker ground and was very impressive on the quick ground when beating Captain Cuckoo by a considerable margin of 9.5 lengths. He was 1-7 to win the race. So I just think what they were doing here, they were getting another blow into him due to the fact that he's fallen at Sandown, and it's a very shrewd move, I think, by Paul Nicholls here to get another run into the horse before this festival and to bypass Cheltenham doing it. So yeah, Hitman would have to definitely be on the top of the list here. Others here, maybe you got the Shunter of Emmett Mullins, very impressive at the Cheltenham Festival. When winning the Paddy Power Plates under young Jason Gainford, and won it by 3 lengths, beating Far Class. No form to go by at Cheltenham and Aintree. Never been here. His Cheltenham form is exceptional. that's probably where we're looking for him next time. Probably the November meeting. I'll be looking around this horse if he turns up. Umbrigado's done nothing wrong with David Pipe. 3 wins on the bounce. Again, was supposed to run at the Cheltenham Festival, but bypassed it for here. Has been drifting quite badly over the last few days. No form really to go by here. Aintree did have one run 2 seasons ago when finishing way down the field in the Mersey Novices over this trip. At the top of the weights down, you got El Dorado Allen of John Joe O'Neill's, Colin Tizard's horse, ran a stormer. I thought first time I've actually seen the horse jump really well consistently. Does tend to make mistakes throughout his races, but I was very impressed behind Shishkin in the Arkle. He was beating 12 lengths, but nothing was going to beat Shishkin that day anyway. That's pretty a considerable one, and the way he stayed on in the closing stages was quite impressive. So this step back up for the first time to 2.5 miles. This will be in El Dorado, I think Adam's territory, especially maybe on this quicker ground, it would help him more as well. As for the winner, I just think it's been a very shrewd move by Paul Nicholls here to bypass Cheltenham with Hitman. I mean, El Dorado Adam I think would be a danger for me, purely on the fact that the way the horse stayed on well in the Arkle. And obviously Fuser Raffles finishing second at the festival. I mean, horses here, I mean, tend to, if you go back over the years, I mean, 6-year-olds have a phenomenal record here. And really, horses coming into this race that didn't win last time out, it's been quite a consistent record. So maybe we can look at that avenue. So we go back on the race. I mean, would Hitman, would he have gone to Cheltenham if he had won prior to that fall in the City Isles? Obviously, the Shunters come out and won at Cheltenham. The Fuser Raffle come out and finished second at Cheltenham, and El Dorado Adam finished second at Cheltenham also. Colin Tizard's yard have not been really firing, as we know. This could be definitely a match-up here between Fuser Raffles, Hitman, and obviously the top weight up top there, El Dorado Allen. Top rate horse in the race is Fuser Raffles at 155. And we've got Dan Skilton's horse down there, Potekarat, who is actually obviously just coming off the back of a wind operation. So, it's a very interesting race here. Very hard to call it. If we go sort of like through, so yeah, basically, if we were going to go for the win, it's not a difficult task, really. I think with Nicholls, I think Nicholls is very, it's a 5-year-old. I mean, the last time we had a 5-year-old win this race, we have to go back to 2015 when Gordon Elliott won this with Clarkham. And really, if we look at the market, I mean, you're probably looking around the first 3 in the market for this race. You're not looking for anything big price. You're not looking for anything that come out of the pack and win the race at 33 to 1, because it's just not going to happen, I don't think. Unless something dramatically happens, they all fall. It's not going to happen. I mean, there's been a lot of money around for the shunter again this morning. The drifter has been Hitman, believe it or not. I mean, he's 4.5 out in the exchanges. Generally 3 to 1, 11 to 4 around most firms, but he's a very big drifter on the exchanges. And El Dorado Allen has been well supported, but most firms he's around about 7 to 1 with William Hill. So yeah, it's a toss up between the Fuser Raffles and me and Hitman. I just think Nicky Henderson here and Paul Nicholls stand the ground, and I'm just going to go with Fuser Raffles here. Even though Hitman's bypassed the festival to come here for Nicholls, he didn't really beat much when he was 1 to 7 shot. I mean, he was just getting a blow into him, I think, after the fall. But it depends how hard the Fuser Raffles race was 3 weeks ago. It's a difficult race between the two. I am on the fence for the two here. I could pick Fuser Raffles and then Hitman to go win, and I'll pick Hitman and then Fuser Raffles go win. So I can't, it's that what I'm concerned about. So if I'm gonna put my neck on the line here, I mean, I do like Fuser Raffles because I think you like the flat track, but Hitman, we're going to stick with Hitman. Okay, sorry for the confusion here. I've got to get this right so I know what bets I'm putting up here. With Paul Nicholls Hitman, like I said, purely that he missed it, and he is coming straight here. And Nicholls has a great habit of actually doing this kind of thing over the past years. So we're going to go Hitman here, okay? And I'm even going to nap this horse, okay, for the day. So you can get 3 to 1 back 365. He's 5 to 2, 11 to 4 generally places. Strong on the exchanges here. You can get about 3 to 1. Yeah, but I said 4 to 0.5 on the Betfair market. I think obviously because the money coming from the shunter, which will probably drift Hitman a bit more, purely because he's not had Grade 1 experience. That's the reason why we're going to get a price on him. So I think a nap here, 2-point win, 3-1, bet 365 on Hitman for Paul Nicholls in the first race. On to the 220. This is the Doombar anniversary, the 4-year-old juvenile hurdle. Over an extent, just shy of 2 miles, 1 furlong. We've got 6 here, another small field, very strong favourite in here in Monomoral of Paul Nicholls again. This horse is quite smart, I think. Looking over the years, the last 3 years, yeah, horses have come in. We have winners like Diffie de Soul in this, who come in here unbeaten. We Have a Dream, won 4 on a bounce. Pentlands Hills last year, and again, it's not been over the last 4 years horses that have been winning outside the top 2 in the betting. I do like a Adagio, Mick Pipes horse here. It's just, again, it's going to be another horse that how much did Cheltenham take out of this horse for David Pipe. Second to a very smart Quilocchios in Triumph Hurdle, but then again, it's that old saying, isn't it? The Triumph Hurdle. I've not seen many horses come out of the Triumph Hurdle and win the next race. So that tells me everything. I've gone on to win from that race. Quilixios will probably head off to Ireland now, and that's where I presume Harry de Bronhead will run him at the Punchestown Festival next. Zada here, who finished 4th in that race and tried 20 flat horses, didn't do very well again in the Triumph Hurdle. Adagio, rate 145 there, coming to this at 147, got £2. I can't see the reason why this horse won't run a big race. It has to be respected with Tom Scudamore on board. I just can't have the horse, I'm afraid, off the back. Monmorel, obviously Paul Nicholls here, comes here unbeaten. Probably the horse to beat here. Too short for me, even around 11 to 10 in places. Last seat at Haydock when won a juvenile hurdle, when beaten also in Nassalem, and won it quite convincingly. The turn of foot was exceptional. The way he went away from Nassalem was quite impressive. We don't know how strong that field is going to be. Nassalem was well rated by Gary Moore, so it could be anything. And like 143 there, winning off there, coming this off 147, so he will get a £4 penalty, but it'll be very hard to beat. I think you can get 11 to 10 here. Very strong in the exchange at 2.08. Adagio will probably chase him home, along with a very interesting one here of Nicky Henderson's horse here, which is Paros. We don't know much about Paros here. Last seen winning 28 to 1 shot for the day. Last seen we beat a horse called Mecklenburg over at Musselburgh in a champion novice race in a class 3. So there's a big step up for the horse here. But yeah, if I'm going to put up here, I think it'd be a 1.5 win bet here. I'd put him in the EMB of the day, really. Not a great price, 11 to 10, but 1.5 point win should be adequate, I think, for the MB. And so we hope the Nap and the Nab can go straight in on the first day, the first 2 races. On to the 250. This is the Betware Bowl, and it was quite interesting that the owner of Tiger Roll boldly turned around and said that Tiger Roll will not win this race. Now, he was 4 to 1 when he won at Cheltenham, straight in for this. Obviously, we know he's missing Cheltenham. And Cheltenham is a lovely course, one easy, the Glenfarclas. And really, when an owner's turning around and saying that he's not going to win this, they're just running it, why would you even run the race horse, really? I think it's silly, really. They should have shot it in the Irish National. So, on that merit, we can probably bypass Tiger Roll completely, unless we're being hoodwinked and just basically bullshitting us, and Tiger Roll will come out and actually slaughter them by 20 lengths. But anyway, Ruth Jefferson's horse here down the bottom here, waiting patiently. Again, another horse that bypassed Cheltenham, had a bit of a setback after being beaten at Ascot in the Clarence House. beaten 8 3/4 lengths to first flow. And that was quite a disappointing run, considering the horse finished second behind Froden in the King George prior over the Christmas period. So we'll have to bounce back from here. Finished third to Min in the GLT Menning Chase here back in 2019. Over 2.5 miles. I think the step up and trip will suit Waiting Patiently quite convincingly, but it's not very strong in the exchanges. 5.4, 4 to 1 generally places. Excuse me. Again, Paul Nicholls. You know, this guy could have a good day if it goes right. Got Candace Oboe here. Beaten obviously by Froden. Behind Froden in the King George. Obviously behind 6th behind Waiting Patiently also. But his second, I was in a Demon Chase. I mean, I thought, you know, he was going to win this, and he was just literally pipped on the line by Secret Investor, Stable Hand, 14 to 1 shot. Again, Paul Nicholls had 1 and 2 there. Both were clearly way in front of Kalashnikov, and that was on good soft ground. Today you're going to be only getting about good ground. I think it's been quite nice here. Good to soft again. I mean, Candace Oboe will have to be seriously taken on board here. I mean, Nicholls won this back in 2015 and 14, and back in 2010. Again, we ain't seen big mini price winners of this race. I mean, over the last 7 years, we've seen one outside a double figure price at 10 to 1. That was T for 2. But generally, we're looking at the first or second favourite in this race. Nothing really above that. Native River. I mean, everyone will be absolutely over the moon. I have to say, you know, I'm not the greatest fan of Richard Johnson, never have been. Obviously, but I will wish him happy retirement. And it's obviously, I would have bowed out here. I would have come to Aintree and then obviously maybe bowed out on Sunday and then called it a day. But obviously, he doesn't think it's, you know, he wants to ride. I mean, he would have ridden Native River here. I mean, John Joe Neal comes in for the ride for Colin Tizard. Good. Obviously, we all know it. He's got a good record here. Ran Aintree at third in the Many Clouds here against Lakeview Lad back in just before Christmas. Won over here in the one of the Many Clouds prior to that. So, I mean, his Aintree record is quite exceptional. I mean, we all know that he won the Mould May here as well. So he's a Grade 1 horse, but it's just Colin Tizard. I mean, Colin Tizard, it'd be a lovely way to bow out for him as a trainer. As we know, Colin Tizard will hang up the boots this year and give the yard over to his son Joe. Excuse me. But so, yeah, it'd be amazing for him to get Native River to give him a Grade 1 bowing out. It could happen to him, a more nicer trainer, really. But it has been a downward spiral over the last 18 months for the trainer. We've got to watch out for Mr. Fisher here. Never seen him run the same race twice. Beat Kalishnikov back over in the trials at before Christmas, the Peterborough Chase at Cheltenham. Won nicely with a mark of 155, hit with a £7 penalty, and just didn't get round Cheltenham at all when the Ryanair pulled up quite a significant way out. If we look at there's a horse with no he's had one Aintree form. He ran the champion bumper here, the Grade 2. That's the only time he ever run at Aintree, and he finished way down the field then. So it's a very hard task for this horse here to come here. It's mostly his forms around Cheltenham. So, you know, and he's not the greatest of jumpers, Mr. Fisher. Never runs the same race twice. So, looking at the, you know, are we thinking that that the horses that missed Cheltenham, the ones Paul Nicholls didn't send, I think you got to watch his. This could be a Paul Nicholls day. There's no doubt about it. It depends how much that is. I mean, he had plenty of time off. He had 46 days off. 6 weeks. So I think it's adequate enough to recoup and win this race. I mean, believe it or not, four of the last three winners of this race never completed their last race. So Ken Boy last year's winner, unseated rider at prior to that. Tiva 2 unseated prior to that. Q Card fell prior to this. So don't be worried about seeing a horse that actually fell or didn't complete last time out. And this definitely will bring up, I mean, none of these fell last time out, but I just think, I think Clandestine Oboe is the horse they've got to beat. To be honestly here, I mean, as for age groups here, I mean, there's no specifically any age trend here. I mean, there's been a couple of 9-year-olds, a couple of 8-year-olds over the last few years, but there's nothing really significant here. What's it? Clandestine Oboe is 9 years old. Mr. Fisher's only 7. He was a 7-year-old winner last year, so Mr. Fisher could run run a good race. Obviously, his last. If you look at his stats, he's had pulled up, won, then pulled up. So maybe as a stats here, maybe he'll win the race for Nicky Henderson on this flatter track. Horses coming from Cheltenham to win this race, yeah. Over the last few years, 4 of the last 7 winners of this race have come from Cheltenham, but didn't win at Cheltenham, if that makes sense. So that would obviously bring the likes of, Mr. Fisher in possibly. It's a big price. He's 7.6 on the exchange. He's 13-2 generally. I did like Native River. I mean, if this horse can bowl along in front, he could send him a merry dance here if getting a soft lead. I think if we looked at his Cheltenham run, he just didn't really take that position up and go from the front, not boldly enough anyway. He was taken on too early. So to pick out a winner is also we can disregard Tiger Roll, but purely on the fact that the owner has turned around and said, this horse got no chance. But they said we could be hoodwinked here, and he'll come out and win by 20 lengths. Waiting patiently, Brian Hughes, probably champion jockey elect this year, even though Harry Skelton is trying his best to bridge the gap. Waiting patiently, just step back up to 3 miles is going to be in his favour, and he's basically a horse that hasn't had, it would come here fresher than most of these. I mean, there's no specific, there's been no horse that's come here over the last 10-15 years that has run above 75 days, apart from one that was What a Friend back in 2010 for Paul Nicholls. So that tells you a little bit, doesn't it? So I'm going to look around the Cheltenham runs, and I'm going to play Native River each way here. We've got each way bet here. I mean, he's trading around 11-2, so I think it's worthy each way bet Native River. So it'd be probably half a point each way, 11-2. With bet 365 and Native River, and I wouldn't overlook Mr. Fisher in this either. Forget that last run. I just think he could run a very bold race indeed. On to the 325. We are getting there, guys. We are getting there. It's the Betway Aintree Hurdle. Again, a grade 1 over 2.5 miles. Again, only 11 go to post here. And I'm very sweet on a horse here, Nicky Henderson's. I know it'd be amazing to see Bouvier d'Hier win this race at the age of 10. I think it'd be very difficult for the horse to do so. If we again look at the stats here over the years, again, there's no really significant age trend on the race. There's been a couple of 8-year-olds in the last 4 years. And last year's winner, Super Sunday, was unplaced last time out, as so was the winner before, Miss Surge. We've had what, one, two, three. We've had 3 odd-on shots win the last 7 years. There's two in the last 4. But there hasn't been anything high in the market. There's been no double-figure prices at this land, this race over the years, so I think we can disregard anything above 10 to 1 above this race. I think been a lot of money around for the Henry de Bromhead horse here, probably because Rachel Blackmore's come over for the ride on Jason the Militant. Very sound jumper indeed. Quite impressed. Came out and won very well at Perry House back in February, and obviously there's no one that missed the festival, didn't come over. Won the Red Mills Trial Hurdle. We haven't really. This will be his first visit abroad to England, so very interesting that Peter Michael and Eric de Bromhead sends the horse here. Again, Paul Nicholls, you can't take away here. He's got McFabulous. Again, round 5 to 1. Went to Fontwell, missed Cheltenham, ran in the sprint, the National Spirits Hurdle, Grade 2, when finishing second to Brewing Up the Storm by 5.5 lengths. And that's a lot of ground to make up for this horse, for McFabulous. So, I mean, he's run prior to that over Kempton. He won the Rail Kill Hurdle Grade 2 back in January. We're beaten on the blind side, which I don't think is really that exceptional form. And as I said, he was beaten for its 4 to 6 favourite and we're behind Brewing Up the Storm. And he was beaten a long way out, to be honest. I mean, he was off the bridle. So this race is very, very open this year. Someone needs a bounce back for Tim Simmons. Wasn't, last time I think it was beaten by Goshen. That Wincanton. It was beaten well in the Kingwell Hurdle, but obviously we know that form is not really held up because Goshen again did pull up at Cheltenham, and he beat Silver Streak by nose. And again, I think Silver Streak's a bit out of his depth in this as well. So if we look at the 2 here, you've got to look at the top 8 here. At the top of the ratings here, 158 is Abracadabras. Diane Foster comes in, obviously we know she's training for Gordon Elliott. Fell when travelling, I thought travelling quite well in the Champion Hurdle. I think we lost him very early actually. He fell at the 3rd fence, so we lost him very, very quickly. So we wouldn't have known how well he would have done that day. I mean, he's finished it behind the likes of Honeysuckle a few times. Again, he's another one that will be taking his first visit to Aintree. Again, a flat track could absolutely suit him, but he's just, for me, he's a lovely horse. Even he's been around a long time for a 7-year-old, but he just like a plodder for me. He just plods and plods and plods. Fell last time, as we know, but I don't know. I think the jury's out on Abracadabras for me. I'm just trying to see the last Irish winner. The last Irish winner was last year. Willie Mullins won this with Any Power. Jessica Harrington. So they haven't got bad. I mean, over the last 1, 2, 3, 5 years, the Irish have took this 3 times. When the Irish horses are running at the moment over the British, I think it's where we've got to look at. And I'm going to go for Jason the Militant here. Of Henry de Bromhead's. Purely, I think the Irish horses are a little bit more forward than the British this year. I wouldn't overrule Abracadabras to run a big race here also for Diane Foster. Denise Foster, sorry. And I think thrown in the mix there also is a horse called Buzz of Nicky Henderson's. Nicky Henderson has won this twice over the last 4 years with Boulevard the Air and Limited Surge. So I think it's the each way bet of the race, Buzz. And I'm willing to put this horse up each way as well, 14s as well. Went to Newbury. in the Betfair Hurdle in the Grade 3, finished 5th, and he just got tapped for toe. Sadly, Kevin Brogan fell asleep halfway through the race. Didn't get the move. Didn't watch the fractions in front of him. But he stayed on very stoutly all the way to the line and finishing 5th, and it was quite eye-catching the way he stood on. So again, another horse that's coming off the back of a decent run, I think. And the fact that he was rated 98 on the flat and trained by Hugh Morrison, who is well known for training long middle distance horses on the flat. So I won't put you out at all back in Buzz. Just a small each way bet each way. I think of just very interest. So my bet's going to be it'd be a 1 point win on Jason Militant at 3-1 generally across the board, and a little half point each way at 14s on Buzz. I think that's in the 325. On to the 405, we have the Rose Patterson Randox Fox Hunters Open Hunters Chase. Again, over an extended 2 mile 5. Billaway comes into this off just being beaten the smallest margins at Aintree. At Cheltenham 3 weeks ago, when he was touched off by Porlock Bay by Short Head. Again, another horse that's going to be visiting Aintree for the first time. And as for the Irish winners of this race, let's have a look. Go back down here. There's not been that many. I mean, Emma Bowles had a cup there with on the fringe. So, I mean, this is the sort of race you can pick up a nice little price here. Generally, over the last 3 years, there have been double figure prices going in here. We've even had 101 shot in this race, so don't anything overlook here. Especially with what just recently won the Irish National 150-1. So I'm going to pick 2 in this race here. I'm going to take on Billaway. I think that race was quite hard at Cheltenham. Well, I'm hoping it was, because obviously this is why we're taking it on. And I think the horse here could run really well here. I mean, Jamie Codd's going to want to obviously try and get a win on the ball or a big good race here. I mean, sadly he couldn't come over for the festival. But I think the horse here, I mean, he rides Mighty Starway, by the way, if anyone wants a little each way bet on him. But I think the horse here is Paul Nicholls. I think Samatagirl is so well handicapped for this. Goes in at 11-2. Ran a cracker at football, finishing second to the Galloping Bear ran this kind of circuit, and he beat Porlock Bay by half a length. So there's the form line through Porlock Bay, who beats Billaway at Cheltenham. So that's the form line now, I believe. And I think I was going to pick 2 in this race. No, I'm just going to pick the one here. I think Samatagirl, Paul Nicholls horse could be very, very hard to beat here. I think he could beat Billaway. And I think a 6-1 bet 365 is very, very overpriced. So I'm willing to go 1 point each way, 6-1 on this, on Samatagirl. About 7.4 on the exchanges here. That's in the Fox Hunters Open Chase. On to the 440, which is the Close Brothers Red Rum Handicap Chase. 18 going to run post here, and again another whopping over 2 miles. Been a lot of money around this morning, a huge lot of money around actually, for a horse called Destrier of Dan Skelton's. 3 runs this season, finished 4th, 5th. Last seen when he finished 5th at Chepstow on soft ground, in an average handicap chase. They're beaten quite convincingly by 31 lengths, and I suppose the form line is through Sky Pirate, who obviously came out and won at Cheltenham when he finished 4th at Warwick. But this horse is still looking for its first success since back in 2019 when winning off a mark 138. Comes into this off 136, so the horse is wedding. I can see where the money's come from. Anything else in the race here? I like this Frero Bamboo of Venetia Williams. It's the second run off the back of a wind operation. Last seen winning over at Sandown when beat a horse called Go Long, won by 9 lengths. Very well done. I've marked 124. If I was a handicapper, you'd probably be about 133 coming into this. And he gets it off a mark of 137. So the handicap was really banged the hair out of it. So that would first of all, I thought, yeah, you have a good chance each way, but I think the handicap has definitely raised the horse too much. £13. I think it's ridiculous. Consistency here. I mean, Henry de Bromhead, young Gainford comes over. His £7 claim on Mood over Germany. I mean, obviously, a lot of people are starting backing this jockey alone blind because he's an exceptional jockey, but it's a different kettle of fish. Ran well, I suppose, in the Webster Cup chase over at Naban, over 2 miles on heavy ground. Went fourth to a horse that's very well respected, and I think it's third favourite for the Grand National this year, which is any second now. So, right, racing up to that form, should really go close. Break 149. One here, Aintree, back in 2018 when winning this race, back in 2019, sorry. Obviously, there was no run last year. So he's looking to go back-to-back in this race. And he won it off 136 2 years ago. And he comes to this off 148. Well, 145 officially. So it's quite a big ask off 11 stone 11 to win this, I think. I think we should be looking down the region of mid-10 stones to win this race. And I think Destria is well weighted at 10 stone 13. So that's where my bet's going to go here on Destria. Harry Skelton's horse here. I think we have a 1 point win at 5-1. Generally across the board, you can get 7s with Betfair on the exchanges. But 1 point win, Bet365 on Destria at 5-1. And finally, the last race of the day, the 5:15, which is the Goffs UK Nickel Coin Mares Standard Open National Hunt Flat Race. Over just shy of 2 miles, 1 furlong. Strong favourite in the race, Island Dover, of Pam Slides. Paul O'Brien comes to the ride. If this ground does ride too quickly, I'm not going to be convinced that she can win this. If we look at her previous wins, all been on like soft. She's won on good ground, but back at Huntingdon. Paul O'Brien gets on very well with the horse. Rode her to 2 successes on 3 runs. Beat Miss Lamb quite convincingly by 6.5 lengths over at Market Raisin back in January. And I think that form's quite strong, especially with Grangie running 5th in the Champion Bumper at Cheltenham. So I won't put you off there. Obviously, form line through Miss Lamb. We've got to take a serious look. Obviously, a lot of money will come for this horse eventually, I think, today. And that's Ellie Est Bell of Dan Skelton's. Harry Skelton comes with a ride. We can't take away that this horse finished third in the Champion Bumper behind the 2 smart horses who are way clear of the race. And that's Gerhard and Kilcrut. Free Stripe Life is well respected. Obviously finishing 4th there. But yeah, it was a big run by Harry Skelton's horse. So he kept on in the final 2 furlongs, went third towards the finish, no chance with a leading duo. So yeah, this little extra half a furlong should be coming into her favour, and she has to be respected. I'm just looking around the Jimmy Render market. She's not that strong on the exchanges, 4.7. Generally 330 with Bet365. I mean, there's nothing really strong around. There's only one that's been really backed against the field each way. That's Me Too, Please of Arthur Moore. Rachel Blackmore comes in for on the ride on the mare. Round 10-1. Has been backed big on in more places. She's generally about 19-1 on the Betfair market. Won at Downroll over this kind of trip on good to soft ground under the claimer and Neil McFarland, and won it quite well by 2.25 lengths. But again, we don't know how strong this form's going to be. But yeah, she's definitely one to take out at a price. She's around, as I said, she's around 11-1, 12-1. I would like to think Miss Lamb could run a big race here. That was my first significant bet. Ellie S. Bell, obviously, the form line is through the top 2 in the market. If we look at winners of this race over the last few years, Yeah, there's been a few out there. There's been one winning favourite for this race. That was 2 years ago with Jamie Codd Road, Getaway, Katie May. So yeah, and the last three winners didn't win last time out, which is even more interesting. So it might be worth taking Eileen Dover on at the price of 8 to 11. I'm going to do it with Miss Lamb. I think Miss Lamb could run a big race here again for Jill O'Keefe and Jack Garrity. As for anything else that stands out in the race here, not really. It's quite a weak race here. Down the bottom there, Nicky Henderson's horse here, Tweed Skirt. It would be a big price for this. Last seen finishing third on her second run. She's about 33 to 1. Behind Flirtatious Girl at Sandown back in March. Beaten 5.5 lengths. A bit of a learning curve. That was a listed event. So she has run at a little bit better levels than some of these, apart from obviously SDL Bell, who's running a grade 1. So if we're going to go for head over heart, I'm going to put 2 in the race. So my bet's going to be, I'm hoping that's a strong form, the Champion Bumper. So I'm going to have 1 point win 130, bet 365 with Ellie Est Bell, and a half a point each way with Miss Lamb at 16 to 1 with bet 365. So that's currently the selections completed. I'll go back over them now. So at 145, I'm on Hitman here. Napped 2 point win, 3 to 1. It's now a 4.4 in exchange. There's a bit of money coming for the horse now. But that's my nap. 2 point win, 3 to 1 on Hitman in the 145. In the 220, my bet will go here on Monmorel, 1.5 win, 11 to 10 generally with places. I think it could be a little bit too classy for this field. I mean, Daddy Over's got to step up to win this race, I think. Even though a very good run at Cheltenham. Onto the Betware Bowl. You could probably all lay Tiger Roll. Like I said, that could be a later day. But I'm going to go Native River here each way. Half point each way, 11 to 2. With Native River. I will point out, just watch out for Mr. Fisher. I mean, if this horse can actually get round this time without putting up, it could be a serious danger for Nicky Henderson, 7 Barrows. Onto the 325, the Betway Aintree Hurdle. This will be a 1 point win on Jason the Militant with a half a point each way at 14s. I think is. I'll just double check. Let's have a look. 16 to 1 on Buzz in the race each way. In the 405, this will be a 1 point each way at 13 to 2 on Somatigal. 1 point each way at 13 to 2 with bet 365 on Somatigal. On to the 440. 1 point win on Destry at 5 to 1. Very strong exchange at 9 to 2. But 5 to 1. 1 point win on Destria in the 440. And the final race, the bumper, 2 in here. 1 point win on Ellie Est L at 130. And I'm having a half a point each way at 16s with bet 365 at 16 to 1 on Miss Lan. So that's the selections for the Aintree first day. Before I go, I just want to point something out that a very good friend of mine, Tony Hawes, I'm going to start putting up some dogs on the back of these podcasts. So please listen. We would really appreciate it. Tony Hawes give me a dog up here, anti-post, if you're very interested, guys. It's for the TV trophy. It starts in May. The bet up with Corals and Labrooks at the moment. The dog is called Ayamza Royale, spelt Aayamza Royale, to retain her crown. Apparently she won it last year. She's 5 to 2 best price at approximately at this time. It's a win bet, and he's also suggested that Savannah Volcano. It's a horse called Savannah Volcano at 25-1. He's advised us each way also in the outright markets. So I will say it again. This is for the TV Trophy, which starts in May. You can get prices up with Corals and Labrooks at the moment. The dog he's given out to win the whole trophy is Ayamza Royale, and his each way bet is Savannah Volcano at 25s. That's from Tony Horst. They say we will be putting some dogs up for Tony at the back end of this podcasts on the channel, because Tony has an exceptional record with dogs, and he's definitely worth taking note of. So then again, so have a great first day. Hope you get winners. Hope we both get winners. I say I think we're a bit down at the moment. We've had a bit of a bad run with the flat season starting. I think we're about £45-50 down, running in the first week, but that can be turned around as we always do, and we always know. So guys, have a great afternoon of racing. I'll do the podcast again for tomorrow a little bit later this afternoon. After the racing's finishing, I'll get this one up for tomorrow early for you. Have a good day, and happy hunting and happy betting. All the best. It's on the Level Racing channel signing out.